Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to look at the announcement that was made on the 14th of March or the 13th of March in San Diego, America. So what we have is these three people: Anthony Albanese on the left there, former Prime Minister of Australia. In the middle we have President Joe Biden, and on the right there we have Rishi Sunak, Prime Minister of England. Interesting how the English flag is in the middle. You can say, well, that means nothing. Well, maybe. So anyway, we've got these three people on the Pacific Ocean announcing a $9 billion deal over a couple, however long they're going to spend that money. They've got to print money anyway to keep the financial system running. So it doesn't really matter. So they're announcing AUKUS, the submarine deal between the three countries, that Australia is to build 8 submarines and America is going to sell Australia 3 submarines. But it's not going to sell the 3 submarines right now. It's going to sell them to Australia in 2030 or thereabouts. So here we have this date, 2030 again, but the key date is January 2031. As I've shown in other videos, because that's when all hell breaks loose in the Pacific Ocean. The international spaceship is crashed into Point Nemo off the coast of Chile and is used as a scapegoat to blow up all the undersea volcanoes in the Pacific Ocean to aid the mining effort there and to destroy the Chinese Navy by creating massive, and I mean massive, I'm talking like on the movies where they're 2,000, 3,000 foot tall tsunamis, to break the Chinese Navy, and any other ocean-going ship that's in the sea at that time will be destroyed or severely damaged. So let's go and, but you know, when you look at these three people, who has the most power there? Think about that. Has Australia got the most power? Has England got the most power? Being the first naval force back in the 1700s, 1800s? Or is it the Americans? If you said none of them have the most power, you are correct. So let's go and have a look at the Lord Mayor of London. The Lord Mayor of London is the Mayor of the City of London. This comes from Wikipedia. And the leader of the City of London Corporation. Okay, so we've got a company now. A company that started from before time began is the word they use. So a corporation that's been around for 1,100 odd years or thereabouts. Within the city, the Lord Mayor is accorded the precedence over all individuals except the sovereign. That's true, but it's not quite true, and retains various traditional powers and rights and privileges, including the title and style, the Right Honourable Lord Mayor of London. Okay, so what happens with the sovereign, the Queen, or now poor Charlie, is that if the City of London Corporation, the Lord Mayor and the the Alderman decided to lock down the City of London, the Greater London, 1 square mile of London, then nobody is allowed to enter, except for the sovereign. But the sovereign can't just, get in his Rolls Royce or whatever and arrive in the City of London. No, he's got to be given the permission by the Lord Mayor of London Corporation. So it's a joint way thing. Why? Because the City of London Corporation is the empire. And as Churchill said, the empire is enormous. And that was back in the 1940s. So the empire is absolutely enormous. So let's go and have a look at the Alderman. Here we are at the Court of Alderman. The Lord Mayor sits at the back there in that in front of that creamy register of people. And you see you've got the red dragon up there on the left flag and a few other flags. So, this directly corresponds with Revelation 13, but I'm not going to go into all of that at the moment. because I've done it in other videos, and you can see the books on Padre's website, padreaustralia.com, padreaustralia.com. So at the moment, the one that has greater power than these three guys is this guy. He's the Lord Mayor of the City of London Corporation. At the moment, he has a 1-year term, and his name is Nicholas Lyne, and he's more powerful than all those three at the beginning, and he's the only one allowed to give permission to the sovereign to enter into the City of London, Greater London, if they so choose to lock it down. So the corporation is much more powerful than the sovereign, and King George III sold off part of his estate to pay for his debts for all the wars he had. So you can see now that why the sovereign is not as powerful as the corporation. So let's go and have a look at what the Bible has to say about this AUKUS. Called different names in the Bible, but what it's going to have to say is about this corporation, about this company, about this empire that is aggressive, that creates the wars, is in control of all of it on both sides. Ezekiel 38, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And that's not Moscow and Tobolsk. Although England does have a some type of treaty since the 1700s with Moscow and the Russians. But anyway, Liz Truss was asking the City of London Corporation to nuke Russia, even before Russia retaliated for what NATO and USA did to Ukraine in 2014. A lot of people are angry against Putin, but Putin's not the main man. He's not the one talked about as the Antichrist, head of the first Antichrist, the first beast, industrial, medical, military, financial beast of Revelation. That's poor Charlie now, and the wounded head being William. So it's not Putin. Putin hasn't expanded his borders aggressively like NATO has, like Gog and Magog have. So, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. So, if you look at through the descendancy, then that's I will show you that that's Australia and America in a roundabout sort of way, and prophesy against him and say, Thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, or USA and Australia. How can I say USA and Australia? Well, let's have a look at Gog and Magog in England. These characters have been on parade in the Lord Mayor of London Corporation parade once a year since 1554. So for 470 years, these characters, these are the modern updated ones. The original ones got damaged in World War II, and about 150 years ago they stopped parading the wooden ones around the streets because they were just so heavy. They got the cane masters, the worshipful cane masters company to make a couple of cane statues, and they now wheel them around once a year. And of course that worshipful company, as some would say, Freemasonry type of thing. And that'd be pretty close by saying that. So we see that Gog and Magog is England, and they're in England. Now these two characters fell in love with a lady called Londoner, Londona. That was her name, beautiful lady. Apparently they fell in love with her, and so did Brutus. And Brutus came along and said, well, you can't have her, I'm going to have her. So he fought with them and beat them. So the history goes, and made these two to stand in front of Guide Hall, one at the south entrance, one at the north entrance, and they would be the protectors of London and the Guide Hall until they died. And then since then that tradition has been held in different forms. So here is Gog and Magog. Well, what links them to USA? Well, here they are in USA. They're in Michigan, Had the St. John Bennett's building there. And there's suites sold in the first story there now, but it used to be a Clockmaster's building. And that building there was actually a London building. It was originally 5 stories high. It's now 3 stories high, but in London it was 5 stories high, and they dismantled the whole building and took it over to America. Those red bricks there are from London. And so they rebuilt the building being 3 stories high there in Michigan, USA. So there we are. We have Gog and Magog being England, the chief prince of Meshech, or Michigan if you want, or just call it USA, it doesn't really matter. Now England still owns USA through their treaty. When USA had their civil war over 2% tax, I mean, I'd gladly pay 2% tax now compared to what we have to pay now. I mean, but anyway, I digress. So through the city of Columbia or Columbus, then there's an agreement there that America is still owned by England. Now, so where is the other place? Well, we just go to Australia and we find Gog and Magog in the Royal Arcade shopping centre in Australia. So AUKUS, Australia, UK, USA, US for short, is England, USA, Australia is Gog and Magog, is Meshech and Tobosk. So there you are. So what are they going to do? Australia is to receive 3 to 5 subs from America after 2030. Why after 2030? Well, because for some reason on this world stage that the Antichrist, excuse me, being Prince Charles, Prince of Wales, William now, the wounded head, he's head number 7 from Revelation 17, Charlie, who's head number 6. There's the 5 dead Prince of Wales that never made it to the throne, and you can look that up in the book Antichrist Revealed on Graham's website, padreaustralia.com, padreaustralia.com. The book's called Antichrist Revealed. You can download it for free or just read through it online. If you want a paperback, then you can go to Amazon and buy one copy. And so Australia is to build 8 English, with the help of English technology, as well as American. They will build 8 subs to come online after 2030. Now, why after 2030? Well, because in January 2031, the very next month, at the moment, NASA says the International Space Station is going to take a dive into the sea at Point Nemo, which is off the Pacific Ocean side of Chile. And they will use that as a scapegoat to help with their mining efforts that they will start in 2025 of the mining the ocean floor and killing all the creatures in the ocean. And so they're going to blow up the underwater volcanoes, which will create massive tsunamis, which will destroy the Chinese Navy. And that's why they're going to have these subs based at Perth on the western Australia, western side of Australia, probably to defend against India and other countries. But that's speculation, and we will see, because India is certainly aligning with China and Russia at the moment. So, and of course, the Indians from India had 130. The British killed 130 million Indians via, the corporation, the West Indian Southern Seas Corporation. I've forgotten the exact name of it, back, a couple hundred years ago. So they probably remembered that, and they're probably still not very happy about England. But we shall see. That's pure speculation on my side. The Bible just says that the further the sea will become like blood, and all the fish in the sea that have life will die. And NASA says that thing that gets cast into the sea in trumpet number 2 there in Revelation chapter 8, is potentially the International Space Station, and so they'll use that as a scapegoat to blow up the underwater sea volcanoes, creating the tsunamis and loosening up all the minerals that they want to mine there, and they will turn the sea into a tailings dam, and all the sea life in the sea will die. All right, so that's it for now. That's about the agreement, the submarine agreement for AUKUS, being Gog and Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, or USA and Australia. And to expand that further, Gog and Magog being England and the Isles, chief prince of USA and Australia. Thank you for watching. See you next time.